Nassau is probably the most common port on Caribbean cruise itineraries, and you may have heard people suggesting that you should just stay on the ship in Nassau. On Facebook groups and other fora, I've seen so many suggestions why cruisers should just stay on the cruise ship in Nassau. Are these concerns valid? Is there really nothing to do in Nassau? Stay tuned and find out with me in this video. Coming up next.
Hi, this is Ken and welcome to my channel, Ken Travels 360.
When Steve and I went on an all-inclusive holiday at Sandals Royal Bahamian, we arrived 2 days before and we spent the first day at Nassau. Let's find out if there is anything interesting to do in Nassau.
Nassau, the capital of Bahamas on New Providence Island, has one of the biggest ports in the Caribbean. It has enough docking at Prince George Wharf to accommodate a dozen cruise ships at a time. Cruise ship passengers disembark virtually into the center of this bustling one-time British colonial capital, and there is usually plenty of time for a guided walking tour around the historic parts. Behind me is the Parliament Square, and around it are 19th century colonial buildings that are really pretty. The Bahamas became an English colony in 1629 and were then briefly ruled by the Spanish in 1782 and eventually gained their independence from Britain in 1973 as the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Nassau was founded around 1650 by the British as Charlestown. So this is a Parliament Square, and you can see the public library of Nassau. It's the octagonal building in front. Lots of buildings here are pink. So for the first 2 nights, we're gonna stay in this Holiday Inn Express and Suites. It's very convenient for exploring downtown Nassau. It's very basic, but it will do for a couple of days.
The hotel may be a bit basic, but we've got a room with a great view though. Over the 2 days we were there, we saw many cruise ships coming and going. We saw Freedom of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas, both from Royal Caribbean, Carnival Sunrise, Carnival Conquest, and of course, Celebrity Apex. These were just the ones I've caught on camera.
This is the British colonial, well, used to be Hilton Hotel. In fact, when we booked the trip, we originally booked to stay here, but earlier this year, they sent me an email and notified me that they are closing down. As a result, we have to switch our reservation to Holiday Inn Express instead.
This is Margaritaville. Many cruisers get a day pass at Margaritaville Beach Resort. They are less than 10 minutes walk from the cruise port. It includes admission to the water park, $25 food and drinks credit, towels, Wi-Fi, and access to the private beach. It costs around $100 a day. Is it really worth it? It depends. You can access the Joondalup beach right next door without any fees. And you'll probably have food and drinks included on your cruise ship anyway.
So here we have the Pirates of Nassau Museum. There used to be a lot of pirates in this area. And these are the opening hours and admission. In front of us is the Christ Church Cathedral. This cathedral has very beautiful stained glass window above the altar.
This was the site where the first church of the Bahamas was built in 1670. However, that and the next structures on this site were destroyed by the Spaniards. This is actually the 5th incarnation, which was completed in 1841.
Behind me is the Government House. There are lots of pink buildings around in Nassau. This one is another one. This is the St. Andrew's Presbyterian Kirk, otherwise just known as the Kirk. So we are now heading to the Queen's Staircase. The Queen's Staircase is 102 feet high and is 65 steps. It will lead us to the top of the Fort Fincastle.
Now, why is it called the Queen's Staircase? Originally, it was just referred to as the 66 Steps. But decades later, the impressive staircase was named in honor of the 65-year reign of Queen Victoria, who had signed a declaration to abolish slavery on her ascension to the throne in 1837.
So we just walk a 65 step up the Queen's Staircase. It wasn't actually that bad. So we have arrived at Fort Fincastle. Fort Fincastle was constructed of cut limestone around 1793 and strategically placed atop Bennett's Hill to protect historic Nassau town and its harbour. It has the appearance of a paddle steamer boat, and it was built under the governorship of John Murray, also called Viscount Fincastle. Fort Fincastle is just one of the several forts and batteries built on New Providence between 1697 and 1798, with frequent threats from Spain, France, and America, and legions of pirates and marauders. Keeping a watch over the town and harbour was paramount.
If you enjoyed watching this video, I'll really appreciate if you click the like button. This way, YouTube will spread the video to more people, and that will really help my channel grow. And if you haven't done so yet, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell. This way, you will be notified whenever I release a new video.
So in this other room, there are some displays about the history and the life back then. Today, there are two cruise ships in the port. The one on the left, the smaller one, is Freedom of the Seas, and behind it, the much bigger one, is Wonder of the Seas. Wonder of the Seas is currently the largest cruise ship in the world. I think it's about 200,000 gross tonnage. So this is the world famous Bahamas straw market again. Lit in sunshine is a really beautiful multicolored building. Today is a lot more lively than yesterday. It's full of cruises. So over here on the right is the Pompey Museum of Slavery and Emancipation. So Sunday morning, we just checked out of the hotel, having a quick look around Nassau again before going to Sandals. So lots of police in ceremonial dress as well. Something is going on. What is happening here?
Remembrance Day ceremony.
Oh, I see. Thank you. It's Remembrance Day, of course. So, as we have just discovered, it's not a normal Sunday service. It's actually the Remembrance Sunday.
So I think it's now time to answer the question, is it worth getting off the ship at Nassau? Now I think if you have never been to Nassau, then there's certainly enough things of historical interest in Nassau to see. I found the locals very friendly, and I was never hassled by any local sellers. Yes, there are a few places that look a bit run down, but I certainly never felt unsafe walking around, even when it got dark. However, if you have been here before and your cruise ship is calling at Nassau again, then I'll suggest looking into going outside Nassau for some great beaches, or maybe going on an excursion. I have a couple of videos showing these options. Why don't you watch them now?